It's okay. Off your mic. It's okay. Off your mic.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. In go touchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego politico, my ego don't come, oh, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, my ego don't come, oh, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, my ego don't come, oh, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar, just they get the higher power. Over naira. See them talk say, make we off mind. But thank God say, my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Politico, my ego don't come, oh, this one not the off in mind, my ego don't come, oh, person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my ego, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my ego diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. See them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. This man not the off in mind, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Aha. Mayegun la wa mo la mo do. Mayegun diary, na ibi number 1. Mayegun la wa mo la mo do. Mayegun diary.
Your me talk to
Today o ore ara
Bolu
ibi number 1.
and every one of you who has joined this broadcast again tonight. I want to say welcome to you. Good evening to you, good morning to you, good afternoon to you, from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Ani esuraki
Michael Coca, Aladenika, brother, Olokoyemi, you are all welcome. Share the broadcast.
Lórí Facebook,
Share it.
ayé tó lájú. Lórí YouTube, ayé tó lájú. Ọba bá gbé wúrẹ́, ayé tó lájú.
Olowo, my brother.
Ijó ìgbàdìgbẹ́, ayé tó lájú.
Let me give you a quick update because it's so important. Because once we get into this whole thing, I'll probably not remember again, or I'll be struggling to find a space to key this into. So it's better I say it before we get started. Let's call it announcement. Okay. First, it's like an update or announcement. To the lovers of Mayegun's Diary Political, the friends and lovers of Yoruba land, and the lovers and friends of justice, equity, family on Mayegun's Diary Political, I think you need this update. It's been a while. In order not to make you feel like, well, maybe there is nothing on this anymore, but there are things going on. But let me give you this first. On Mayegun's Diary Political, we have been so generous to people who have been victims of state-sponsored persecution in Nigeria. Yes, we have been very resolute and supportive of different kind of people or groups on this platform. If you remember very well, we took up the case of Corporal Martins Idakpani, whose wife, Mrs. Victoria Idakpani, has been a member of Mayegun's Diary Political for a while now. 2 years ago, when the Buhari's government came after this innocent soldier who raised an alarm over the corruption of that former chief of army staff, Buratai the butcher, they arrested him. They denied him, the supposed justice. He wasn't allowed to see any lawyer. However, this platform, Mayegun's Diary Political, came through at that time for the family. You did, members of this platform. We raised enough fund that supported the family for a while. And 2 members of this platform also took responsibilities of the family in the absence of Corporal Martins Idakpani. I have never met any of them. Their case popped up on this platform and we turned up. However, they eventually bungled the whole case at some point. Long story, I brought the case back onto Mayegun's Diary Political when I sought your support, remember? And you gave an approval that we could support her and her husband, which is exactly what we have done. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have managed to establish contact between Corporal Martins Idakpani and then the legal team that this platform paid for in Nigeria. So in the next couple of weeks, we will be representing Corporal Martins Idakpani and seeking for his freedom where the Nigerian military locked him up for the past 2 years. On this platform, we have also made provisions on several occasions for the family's welfare paid for by this platform. All thanks to you, the friends of Mayegun. That is the first part. Also, on this platform, we chose that we were going to keep the pressure high when it comes to the publicity and the awareness for why the Yoruba sovereign nation should be, and also the conversation in Yoruba land especially. However, at some point, we encountered some, some hiccups here and there. But that didn't in any way derail the intention. We want to support our people in Yoruba land, those who are the victims of this barbaric arrangement or barbaric establishment. Many of them are already, or should we say, they are already up in arm, even against the evangelism of Yoruba nation. But that is not deterring us. We still found ourselves a little bit generous enough to think about Yoruba first, even if the rogues controlling Yoruba land as we speak, politically and otherwise, don't give a damn about what become of us. This platform chose that we will continue our own humanitarian gesture on a large scale. This time around, backed with solid, policy, should we say, programs that will eventually get us closer to the brothers and sisters that are currently being used for the selfish political interests of those who were supposed to speak for us, those who were supposed to fight for us. On this note, on our last account, as we speak, we agree that Mayegun, we should set up a platform that will actually make it easier for us to come together and actualize this laudable dream. Now, we have been working on that for the past 2 months. We've had a bit of a setback caused by some personal, issue that I had to deal with. But as it is, nothing has stopped, and then everything is back on track. You can now sign up on yorubaunion.org if you would love to join us. It is completely free. You could be a volunteer. You could be a member. We could make use of your own expertise, your experience in your own field on our programs that we intend to open up in the coming days, in the coming weeks or months, as much as we are ready. However, because I have this personal feeling, or should I say personal, I want to find the right word, policy, should I call it policy? A personal policy that is more or less like you don't expend all your resources, even if you don't have much to do. Yeah, whatever you do not expend all your resources. However, so for the past 6 months, we have raised enough funds and we have supported so many people in a great way, whether they acknowledge that as they should or not. But at the same time, as they say in Yoruba, ẹni tó ṣú lè gbàgbé, ẹni tó kò gbàgbé. But however, we still have over 3,000 pounds sterling in our own deposit as we speak, which you can classify as over 2 million naira ready to be spent. So I kept that all this while because, we would have depleted everything in the last 1.5 months when we stopped all donations, fundraising, and everything entirely. But I just feel like somehow, we should spark up something. So therefore, in the next coming days, I plan on releasing another 1 million naira, which will now go towards that publicity that we were doing. This time around with a different, clearer message, and the messenger, the source, all detailed on your streets right there in Yoruba land. Now, we will keep it out there for as long as we can pay. But I'm going to clear that soon. Other things on the table. I received an email, although I haven't responded to it. And that email is coming from somebody who I believe must be a member of this platform. I'll keep your name for now. This individual is pleading with us that, his own brother is currently suffering from a serious terminal ailment, a very serious medical, ailment, serious one, that they need 2 million naira for an operation, which is just a first part of it. I saw your email, and the most step I could do is to let people know about it. What we're going to do about it, or what we can do to help will be decided on Mayegun's Diary Political. So let's consider this our current updates. I am going to probably open the line at some point, take calls. And if you are a very, very, prominent member, so to say, I'm talking about a dedicated member of Mayegun's Diary Political Platform, it will be so, so wonderful to hear your view on what I have said so far. None of this action have been taken so far. However, it will be so, so beautiful to hear from you. So that is that. Yeah. And if we intend to raise more funds at any point in time, it will also be suggested and agreed upon on this platform, as we do always. As we speak, we have our savings. It is being depleted. Yes. However, we can still do something and still keep something if we approve tonight. So let's take a 1 minute or two break, okay? When we will then start tonight's program. Thanks for listening, by the way. Now we can go on to talk about the calamity called Nigeria under the APC, Egbekegbe, the destruction they brought. I mean, the joke that they have become. Don't go anywhere. Thank you. Thank you very much. I don't know if you have heard this before or you are hearing this for the first time on Mayegun's Diary Political. If you are looking for the textbook definition of a collapsed, failed country from the security perspective, and you are doing a research on it, right? Do not look far. Failed country. You will choose Nigeria. But whatever you see in Nigeria today, whatever happens anywhere, you might call it incompetence. You might call it, sabotage from those who are supposed to keep you safe. But the bottom line is that the security structure of Nigeria that collapsed is intentional. And here are the examples. Nigeria budgets over 4 trillion naira just for your defense. Only for the defense minister to tell you to learn how to defend yourselves and stop running away from the AK-47 wielding criminals or terrorists. But here is the joke. A country that's proud or pride itself as the giant of Africa, under the control of APC, Egbekegbe, they have army, soldiers, they have navy, they have the air force, they have other security agents or agencies in their hundreds of thousands. But the entire country is enveloped and controlled by all kinds of criminals, to the point that the dangerous you are, the attentive the Boko Haram's government will be to you. Up north, terrorists are marking territories that they no born Nigeria security to enter. And, in down south, they are also paying billions and billions to armed militant local southern terrorists on their own. No, be only me go first call you that. Armed terrorists down south in the book of the government are called contractors. In Niger Delta, starting from 2004 or thereabouts, and armed uprising started in that oil-rich region that created instant billionaires who were those most armed, who were making their money from kidnapping oil workers, expatriates, for ransom, for money. Obasanjo was the first one to have an encounter with the terrorists of Niger Delta. Initially, put it this way, they feel offended if you call them criminals or terrorists. You know why? They said they are fighting for the rights of the Niger Delta, who are being ripped off by Nigeria and the oil companies. But guess what they did? They turned billionaires and turned contractors for the same oil companies and Nigeria. Then for the past 20 years, when this whole thing started then, right? Ladies and gentlemen, the armed terrorists or militants were the richest. The environment, the environment that they said prompted them to start the armed struggle remained the same. But that's actually not the just point. In Nigeria, I've told you many times, Nigeria is a crime scene, okay? Where criminals are those well rewarded, starting from Boko Haram himself, a terrorist that overthrew a democratically elected government in the 80s, only to be rewarded with a democratic position 30 years after. And look at many of them who also parade themselves around as your leaders. They are either past, roguish criminal who got away with it and got more rewarded with another better protective position. But back to it. Security collapsed. And in that Niger Delta, you know what happened? Yaradua came. He offered what was called amnesty. Now, amnesty was for those who picked up arms to lay them down and take up free monthly pay from the government of Nigeria. But if you are smart enough, there are other government-sponsored programs for you, like marine engineering, welding, other things that has to do with something that could improve the Niger Delta, so to say. And they called it amnesty program. But there is something. The way the amnesty worked was that all of these heavily armed militants in their different camps, they surrendered. They surrendered their arms with the list of the people from their camp. So that automatically make them contractors of the government. But before Yaradua came, Obasanjo lured them to Abuja, locked them up. That was when Asari Dokubo became prominent. Then they were like, once they raised the fees, you think they are fighting human rights fighters. Last year, everybody cash out, turned contractors, and they turned their eyes away. Instead of them to be kidnapping oil workers, they became contractors protecting oil thieves in Niger Delta. How did I know? I'll tell you. Remember, I said that the security of Nigeria was deliberately, intentionally collapsed. And you may not know where this whole thing will hit you too, especially if you are probably, ignorant of all this I'm saying. But wait for it. So they turned contractors. The people who were fighting government for the injustice, they became part of the system and they are well rewarded. So even our own Are Onoka Kanfo, Iba Gani Adams, he also shot part of these freebies. Just get guns, make enough noise, and whatever it is, you may find yourself around this so mad contraption called Nigeria. APC Egbekegbe came to power and they declared Tompolo wanted. I don't know what happened. Before they came in, oil bunkering, the people stealing your crude oil every day. On record, though, they said they were stealing over 100,000 barrels of your crude oil every day. The people that are protecting the large vessels of the stolen oil, they are your military, your navy, then the human rights militant terrorist of a Niger Delta. Yeah, it's a business world. When APC Egbekegbe came in, when they declared Tompolo wanted, somehow, they don't sort out. Now, the oil theft in Niger Delta, on record today, they say it's over 600,000 barrels a day. For those who know, they say you will see 1,000 liters of petrol in one barrel of it. Say now 1,000 be 100 liters. I don't know. But you shall go see a lot of liters of petrol, lot of liters of diesel in the same, just one barrel of crude oil. Now imagine losing over 500,000 barrels every day. And guess who are those who are there? The people protecting the pipeline. Now, here is the twist to this whole thing. An average Niger Deltan will never agree with me that they are stealing their own oil. What do you mean? How can you say we are stealing our own oil? If to say Nigeria is Nigeria, shouldn't we be in charge of our own oil? Shouldn't we be in charge of our own seaports? International seaport that we can trade with the rest of the world. Shouldn't we be, they don't agree. They won't agree with you if you tell them that these criminals who claim they are doing it for the people of Niger Delta are never doing it for anybody but themselves, of course, right? So they won't agree with you. And I kind of will partially, say, well, they may be right. You know why? Nigeria under APC, Egbekegbe, in 2014-2015, they promised all of you, the Mumumadus, the Bele lecturers, the Mumu lecturers. They said they were going to revive all the refineries in Niger Delta. Because you know what? Economically, for the people who are into businesses or manufacturing, they say it is more profitable if your plant or your factory is located just close to where you are getting your raw materials, where you are getting your resources and all that. Abi, it's more profitable. No be so? If you are into farm produce, agricultural processing, and the rest of that, it is better to build your plant or your factory next to your farm. Abi, it saves time and all of that. Abi, so if you are building a refinery, is it not better to build a refinery close to where you have a oil rig, where you can drill your oil and refine your oil, process everything there, reduce all cost, and then transport out to wherever you want to sell to? Is that not more cost effective? Abi? But because Shuri, Nigeria is a place where all of the rogues who have had a chance to make a difference and build a real country, but selfish, greedy, and self-centered, they they abandoned all of your refineries in Niger Delta, okay, where you have refineries that can refine. If they were working, they will refine over 450,000 barrels of crude oil every day. That would be like 30% of what was supposed to be Nigerians. Let's say 40% of what's supposed to be Nigeria's daily oil produce. That alone can save you more than more than 2 trillion naira that they are paying themselves on subsidy. But guess what? They ensure that the refineries they promised to repair or build new ones for you for 7 years, they abandoned them. Okay. Now they build refinery in Kaduna. Listen to this one Nigeria. They build refinery in Kaduna. Now it will take over 700 to 900, almost 900 kilometers. They will have to lay pipeline, or they would have to drive trucks that will drive for 900 kilometers to Kaduna to go and refine the crude oil from Niger Delta. Also, they also said it seemed to be cheaper if they import the crude oil from Chad and Niger Republic to Kaduna and refine it in Kaduna, then they can then cut petroleum cost in northern Nigeria. Remember, all of the oil they southern Nigeria, Abia, Imo, Delta, Rivers. The oil they there, Ondo. But citing a refinery there, that could create millions of jobs in these areas for Nigeria, or let me say for a working normal country, that would be ideal. But for a typical Nigeria, no, it's not going to work. You know what they did? After abandoning all of that, in 7 years, they have been spending 65 billion naira on salaries, cars, housing, travel, training for those who are working in Kaduna Refinery. For the past 4 years, Kaduna Refinery has never produced 1 single liter of petrol or diesel. But every year, they are spending over 60 billion naira paying salary and all of that there. So when they asked them, why didn't you cite refineries or improve the refineries they have in Niger Delta? And that alone can save you, Nigeria, over 2 trillion naira free money that you pay to these subsidy people. They said Niger Deltans are vandals. That's where I'm coming. That is exactly where I'm coming now. They said nobody want to build expensive refinery in Niger Delta where the oil is because they are vandals. Any small thing, they don't vandalize them. Any more. So that is why Dangote chose Lagos instead of Port Harcourt. That is why Nigeria chose Kaduna instead of where? Owerri. Abina Uma here. I'm just saying, closer to where you have the oil. And it is the same thing. A country of 200 million people, they only have one functional international seaport. But those who are stealing Nigeria oil with every vessel on the high sea, that they won't tell you that the same sea you have in Lagos, they are everywhere in that same Niger Delta, in that same Igbo land. Yes, they are. But they won't tell you that that same one you have in Lagos, you have the same thing across Ondo. And all these places, they can actually, if they indeed dredge them for this purpose, a country of 200 million people with one international seaport and the rogues in government who made sure of that, they are now building private seaport for themselves. Dangote is building his own private seaport. Everybody is building theirs. But the entire country, from the north to the east, they have to come to Lagos. I mean, that is called deliberate, stunted growth. That is what Nigeria represents. A country that can actually, you see, that same vessel, big vessel that you see in Lagos, IC, those are the same bigger vessels that they are using to steal the Nigerian crude oil every day in Niger Delta. If they make an international seaport there, it won't just only stop bunkering, yeah? It will create millions of reasonable jobs. But Nigeria doesn't want that. The Niger Deltans, they are good at sharing the money. Their politicians, their youth, every one of them, they seem more comfortable with the arrangement. Therefore, Tompolo wanted today, awarded contract tomorrow, wanted again tomorrow, and then a box of money shipped to him again tomorrow. You know why? Because they consider them as vandals, development or cleaning of their own, destroyed environment. It's not really a priority. People have used them. Listen, I know those who have done things genuinely for the sake of the people, but we are now talking about when you now see those who also champion the same cause, the Niger Delta cause. Our people are suffering. Our people cannot go to fishing. Our this and that cannot do this and that. But then, when they have the chance, what do? They also get so greedy, selfish, self-centered, and they abandon their own people. From their politicians to their local chiefs. If you want to know better, would you believe it? That since 2015 to today, 2022, NDDC, I believe they call it NDDC, Niger Delta Development Commission, they have taken from this Nigeria Buhari, NDDC, they have taken more than 6 trillion naira from Nigeria cover for different developmental projects in Niger Delta. Ladies and gentlemen, the money entered different pockets. That was what prompted those that interview at the National Assembly. Off your mic, it's okay. Honorable Minister, it's okay. When you go to the same Niger Delta today, sure. Now, when somebody now said, well, they are vandals now, so that's why they just employed them to guide their pipeline. Away. This in 7 years, in the name of Nigeria oil, that they have depleted, and it has become almost worthless today, yeah, they decided to lay pipeline. Niger Delta Oil, they will lay pipeline from Niger Delta.
straight to Niger Republic. And then after, according to them, after Niger Republic, they want to lay the pipe to Europe so that they can be selling oil to them in Europe. They can pump your oil from Niger Delta to Niger Republic so that Niger Republic can refine the oil, the crude oil, and bring it back to Nigeria. She no be madness, be that. If they talk about one Nigeria, is this not one of the things that if you knew, you should never be comfortable enough to say, well, because this is not a makeup. Exactly what it is. So the news now came, they said that Nigerian government awarded 4 billion naira monthly to Tompolo. Maybe 4 billion naira a year, maybe 4 billion naira 1 week or whatever, it doesn't matter. But look at the bigger picture. They are those with guns that could stop oil production in Nigeria. Everything don't enter red for Nigeria. And the people you need to pay more now are the people with guns. So therefore, whatever he wants, pay him. Or else, we are talking about going bankrupt. APC government, this one, that you are all, some of you are trying to whitewash for Kolu Tifnumbu, right? This APC, Egbekegbe government, when they came in, the balance in the Nigerian foreign reserve was over 40 billion. Today, the balance is less than $15 billion. When these rogues came in, the balance in the excess crude accounts, ECA account, was over $7.5 billion. Today, the balance in the account is less than $50 million. Today, when these rogues came in, the Paris Club refund their money, returned over 1.2 trillion naira. They shared the money. Now, they also sent Emefiole to make provision for another 600 billion naira. They shared the money to all these states again, right? Now, after that, they asked Emefiole to print another 19 trillion naira to augment the shortages, because all the money they gave to all of your state governors and the rest of them that they shared from 2015 to 2016, right? Today, many of those states have not paid salaries of their workers. They can't even pay. Many of them can't pay pension. They can't pay their pensioners anymore. Nigeria is so broke that your debt profile jumped from 13.5 trillion naira to over 45 trillion naira today, which is over $100 billion today. Now, not just that, your businesses are closing. Jobs are being lost. Yeah, of course. Jobs are being lost. From the patchy 8.5 million jobless people they told us officially in 2015, today, many of you who are going to wear their t-shirt, jump up and down, sing and wave flag, collect your 1,000 and the Congo of Gari they will give to you. In the next, for another what? For another 4 years. So many of you are today jobless. Are the evidence of that? Yes, you are. Today, more than 120 million of you are jobless, 45% unemployed. Now, the solution is probably to employ you into the army. Eat agbado, cassava, gari, anewa, whatever they offer you. In 7 years, they changed your lives. Just the same way just exactly what they promised you. Now, today, they have destroyed your naira. Of course, they have. They told me that a tuber of yam is now over 4,000 naira. I'm like, away, really? 4,000 naira for a tuber of yam? A bag of rice, you know how much you used to get that, right? Now, all the lies are catching up. But rather than for many of you to have a bit of a remorse, a bit of a step back and say, Omo, everything don't scatter finally. But rather than for you to do that, you are what? You are doubling down. Some of you are so doubling down. You are making up more lies. You are making up more lies that will make you believe that, well, it is still going to be better. No, it's not. It's going to get worse. All because you choose to perish in your own fantasy. Put it that way. Perish in your own fantasy. Somebody said he's the president of the frustrated Nigerians. Then he met the grandfather of the frustrated Nigerians, according to this. So, just for a second.
If, as the president of frustrated youths of this country, now me be their president, okay? Me, myself, I did frustrated. Because my life...
You are president and
frustrated Nigerians. Youth. Yeah.
I am their father.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. You're right. My question is this. If you were asked, say somebody from street, we no see, you don't try everything, no job, nothing, no hope. I mean, the environment is so toxic. I don't know what can grow in a toxic environment. If you were asked to advise that young Nigeria, Baba, what would you say to that person to give them hope? Because we are battling, we have a serious battle in our hands. Some people have lost hope.
So that we are poor and frustrated is not the fault of God. It's the choice of our leaders. And if you are going to change that, change our situation, you have to change leadership. Pure and simple.
Yes.
And there's nobody who will do it other than the youth. Meaning that you have a baby, your own baby, with a very robust waist, and you don't take bead and put in on the waist of another somebody else's baby. And I say to people that my own baby is Nigeria. That's the one that has robust waist, and that's the one I want to put beautiful bead on. Not any individual who I know that they will not achieve whatever they promise they will want to achieve. So how do you do that? Or in the north, they will say namu namuni.
Yeah.
Tiwantiwa. I don't know what they say in your part.
Baba say it. Nka bunkanye.
Nka bunkanye. Now that is not the issue. The issue is Nigeria.
To me, that is not the issue. The issue is Yoruba land. You see, it can be so surprising that you will go into an argument with your fellow Yoruba brother or sister, talking about you know Nigeria here and Yoruba, and you want to have a conversation, and then they are triggered. They are triggered just about the conversation on Yoruba sovereign nation as a Yoruba man. Priority. It is the damage done by Nigeria, done to you, done to so many that are now called frustrated Nigeria. People are frustrated though. Don't stop lying to yourselves, because some of you believe that this social media where everybody can put on different masks. Nigeria, you can't put on your fake mask for too long. You get what I mean now? Everybody, they feel as it is right now. And that is what Nigeria has done. Everybody is feeling it. So why should you, as a Yoruba man or Yoruba woman, who have seen it and seen it all, continue to make yourself a willing tool to play down the real you, who you are? I'm a Nigerian. Of course, all of us are Nigerians now. Nobody so them force us there. But can you say you are a Nigerian by choice? Can you say, in all honesty, now you know you can't, other than what they told you that you are, the one you have been defending enough that even to this day, the confusion, as clear as to some, are still unclear to many of you. Frustrated Nigerians, where you have the Yorubas, the Igbos, the Hausas, and others. Why are they frustrated? Why are you frustrated? Be honest. It is because you are a citizen of a country that has no definition or clear definition of what your citizenship truly means. That is Nigeria identity. And then you see things happening around you. There are other evidences to let you know that if you know your place in the Nigeria they are building, there will likely be no place for you. A violent, toxic, hateful, divisive one, and more hypocritical as well, where it is free to pretend that everything is all right when nothing is in true essence of it. The victims of one Nigeria are Nigerians, whether in the north or in the south. The terrorists armed are super citizens and they come first. For example, in one of their dire tribes, in one of their own defense of what they have done in combating terrorism, Garbage Shehu once said this about a Boko Haram leader after they organized jailbreak for them. Jailbreak, Kuje prison. He said, let me tell you, initially, he called them the gang leader instead of the terrorist leader, demanded the release of his pregnant wife who was in jail. The government took her to a hospital where she gave birth to twins and informed him that his wife and the twins are in good health. And later, all three were freed. He refused to free the victims, but he gave a fresh demand of releasing 6 or 7 of his children from prison. His children are also terrorists that are locked up, or not children or biological children or other terrorists. These are words of Garbage Shehu, right? Not only did the government release them from jail, it sent a plane to fly them from Adamawa, where they were detained, and delivered them to the terrorists. Again, they refused to release the victim. Instead, they asked for money. So you cannot say government did nothing. This was them telling you that they placated the terrorists. And today in northern Nigeria, Hell Rufaya, Kaduna Little Finger, wrote a letter. In that letter, he wrote a letter to Buhari. He said, Mr. President, Kaduna, the terrorists in Kaduna, they have demarcated boundaries that are no longer controlled by Nigeria. They have set up their government there, which is true. And they have started collecting taxes. In Kaduna, same Kaduna. Are you with me? So, Mr. President, you have to do something. But it's all lies, okay? You remember this Zamfara bandits, terrorist, the Fulani terrorist in Zamfara called Bello Turuji. Now, they brief everybody now, small. They said, Turuji has repented. Now, the story of Turuji, another terrorist up north, right? Enjoying the immunity of the Nigerian government, as Nigeria is the den of criminals, super protected by the criminal government there as well. The people are the victim. But you remember Turuji? Now, Turuji, in 2020, Turuji has killed more than 5,000 people. This guy in this picture and his team in Zamfara. Then Zamfara government decided to call for peace or ceasefire. Now, this Turuji and his friends, they met with the Matawale governor of Zamfara, okay? When they met with him, he gave them money, a lot of money, okay? And he said they have done a deal that the terrorists have now repented. 3 months after, Turuji, after collecting money, collecting their cars, collecting everything they gave to them, they gave to him and his team, got more weapons from the money He just went back. This time around, it took not just Zamfara. It went as far as, close to Abuja. It went to Niger State. And they started controlling the airspace of these states. Is the only terrorist in that axis who has a weapon that can shoot down military fighter jets. I'm not joking. Now, the politicians who gave him money and the rest of that the first time, they now declared him wanted. Now, they don't hint them now. They said he's repenting now. Oh, you remember? I mean, if you remember, 2-3 days ago, they started making all this bogus news online that Nigeria soldiers, Nigeria military, they are dealing with the terrorists. The bandits, they always bring all this news up mostly when election is coming too, right? So then the news said, Turuji has repented. He hasn't surrendered though. They are packaging another money for him, as usual. Where do you think they get the money from? Their own share from the money generated, mostly from southern Nigeria. Put it that way. Because these guys are pure cankerworms, cancer that are pure, they actually are hitting so deeper into their own host and allowed by Nigeria. Take that from me. They take from Nigeria, they transfer to terrorists, and then when the terrorists strike, they then go back to Nigeria and take from Nigeria again to buy weapons and say we need to fight the terrorists. But if there is nowhere to dip the money they are hand into, like one Nigeria, you will see how the terrorism in northern Nigeria will disappear overnight. Trust me. Matawale from Zamfara and the rest of them, Niger State was a state where the governor first raised alarm. You know what he said? He said over 500 communities have been taken over by terrorists who now tax the people, and they pay tax to these terrorists. In Nigeria, they already control those places. There is no Nigerian military, no Nigerian police. If they burn you well, go mistakenly wear uniform, constantly they wear costume, pass the area, you are gone, you won't be back, you won't be seen again. Nigerian security forces know that. And they know also that all these criminals who are everywhere, running free hand, in cahoots and collaboration with those who are supposed to keep you safe, they know that, which is another thing as well, on the side, Nigeria, or let me say the power, can continue to be controlled in an environment of violence. And how do you control the violence? Is if you are the one funding the violence. The terrorists are there. Your government in Nigeria, they have all it takes to wipe them all out. But how do you wipe out your own creation? What do? You empower them. Now today, your monetary system, your what do you call it? Your technological system, phone registration and every other thing that should be able to track and help you in the area of security. They intentionally, they put a jihadist there. Go and register your this. Go and register your SIM. Go and register this or that. But right before your eyes, from the north to the south, from the east to the west, terrorists are kidnapping Nigerians. They are making phone calls with the phones of their victims, and they are collecting hundreds of millions of naira ransom. And most of this money are passing through your entire system, and no single one of them has ever been arrested or prosecuted today. And you still think they are not behind that. So if I have anything to offer you, I will offer you something they are telling you to ignore, and that is, you can save yourself from all this trauma. All of us can be saved from all this trauma. If we all agree that you and I, we were never, our consent were never sought when they put together a fraudulent constitution that they called we the people. No, none of us was there. We were never consulted. That is not out to say we are all one, because some few people put together a bogus book that has taken 2 decades, over 2 decades now, for people to even reason well, to see why this is even happening. All of this can happen right now simply because 200 million people chose to look the other way and believe that their solutions will come from elsewhere. If you don't break up that trashy book, if you don't tear it into pieces as it should be, yeah? Maybe in another 1 or 2 years, we should all just begin to get ready to be called, what would they call us again? If they call the Niger Deltans vandals, who don't deserve development, who don't deserve, they don't deserve, real jobs, so to say. I mean, who don't deserve a decent environment to live in, who don't deserve the safety that they should be getting from both, the government as well as the nature. Now, if they feel like citing development, like job creation through refinery, construction and all that, yeah, it's because the Niger Deltans, the owners of the oil, are vandals. They are going to call me and you Yorubas. They are going to call us rebels in Yoruba land. You know why? You've been reading about it, right? Maybe you haven't, or maybe you have, and then you just as one of your I don't careism, right? I don't careism, yeah. There's something called water resources bill, okay? So I should let you know, all right? The people who mapped Nigeria and carved Nigeria and shared it among themselves as their territory, and they call it Nigeria is their own project and all that, right? Nigeria is not my own project. I am one of those who are trapped in it, asking to be out. You may be a Yoruba man who enjoy it, okay? But listen to me. One day, you are going to open your eyes and you're going to see how wrong you are for saying that you believe more in Nigeria than your own sovereign nation. Don't worry. You have that choice, okay? But one day you are going to wake up and you're going to see how wrong and how wrong you are. Because you see all this water resources bill, yeah? Once they pass it, this is what will happen. They will control all the waterways in every part of Nigeria, including Yoruba land, okay? And they will not just control the waterways, right? They will control the land, which is the bank of that water, 10 kilometers of it, 10 miles of it, which is about 13, 14 kilometers, right? From that water bank, straight. They will then redistribute all these places because they will be gazetted. They are by law. They are laws that they are making right now, which your roguish criminal lawmakers will actually vote yes for anyway. Of course, people will vote yes. You know why? They said they need to resettle the Fulani terrorists that are killing you. To stop the killings, they need to put them close to water. You are laughing. It's not going to happen. But the way many of you are fighting to keep Nigeria one, you are going to see that happen. Now, when that happens, right? When they chase you away from those places, I mean, I'm talking about towns away from waters, yeah? And they resettle these people. Now, every time you cross that border, every time you cross that line, you will be regarded as a rebel. You will think it's Yoruba land. No, it's no longer Yoruba land because your ignorance, mostly your stupidity, your selfishness, your greed made you choose Nigeria that doesn't give a damn about you over what is really, really yours. That should normally, right? You see what we have in the UK? We have 4 countries, 4 nations. They came together to form a kingdom, one country. We have the English, the owners of England. We have the Welsh, the owners of Wales. We have the Irish, the owners of Northern Ireland. We have the Scottish, the owners of Scotland. Everything that is there in those places are owned by the people of those places, well defined in the arrangements that brought them together. In Nigeria, they are telling you that we are one, we are one, we are one. That one is not defined. Nobody is defining it now. In their own way, they mapped out Nigeria. They cut out everything for themselves. I'm talking about those who call themselves the owners of Nigeria. Of course, you'll find your own village person there. Yes, you'll find Igbos there. You'll find Yorubas there. You'll find Hausas there. You'll find Fulanis there. Ijos are there. Shekiris are there. And everyone is there from your tribe all over the place. The owners of Nigeria, or those who are eating from the crumbs from the owners of Nigeria. So they've mapped everything. They are the owners, from the oil to the gold to every other mineral they could, including to the people. That is not how it should be. And that is the fraudulent one Nigeria they are selling to you. That is why it's not working. They want you to say you are, it's like telling a Scottish person that, listen to me, you are British. You are British. Of course, you are from Scotland, but there's nothing like Scotland. It's British. Just say you are British. But they will tell you that you the crazy, you the mad. Where you come from? Are you like, you the mental? Scottish person will tell you it's Scottish first. So if you are an outsider and you meet him, you can address him as a British, but he will appreciate it if you actually tell him, if you address him as a Scottish, yeah. Let him know that, oh, you're Scottish, man. He will appreciate that more than you addressing him as a Scottish, as a British, which is big, Abby. Do you know how I know? I live here. And I bet it's probably the same everywhere else too. So in Nigeria, you are told to be Nigerian first before anything else, as if to say they care about anything else, which is your true identity as it should be. Do you get that now? So forcing that one Nigeria on this or that, the fraud, the lie. I don't see how long that's going to last anyway. So there is nothing like one Nigeria, so to say. People could handle their own affairs. We could handle our own affairs. Yeah, we could. So if they now pass their water resources nonsense, it no go happen, it no go happen. It no go happen, it no go happen. It becomes their law. They bring their own soldiers in. Nigeria is Nigeria. Abi now, Shebi, you want to be part of Nigeria and stay put part of it, Abi? Now they will now call you Yorubas who cross that border into the Fulani territory, water resources. They will then call you rebels. I say, why don't you develop Yoruba land? They will say, we cannot just put anything there. You know, they are rebels. Every small thing like this, they will be fighting and claiming that it's their land and all of that. So military said they are, one day, that's the future for your children. If you have no sense now, you should start using it or probably borrowing one too. So I'm not your enemy. I'm just giving an example of what you should look out for. Nigeria, for those who have lied to you and continue to lie to you, okay, is not for you. It's not for me. But it could be for everyone if we start identifying and acknowledging the barrier which should be respected. Respect that, and maybe we can begin to say, oh, okay, as a Yoruba man, it's a shameful thing for you to open your mouth, okay, because of this election, that, and say the sovereignty of Yoruba land, your own sovereignty, the one that doesn't have to rely upon you praying to God, so that even if you decide to choose somebody that is responsible, that is sensible, to lead you, as some of you are thinking you can do, now you have to start praying that the three Kadishians, that they should come in your favor, right? Oh, we are waiting for Kano, Kaduna, Katsina. The three Kadishians. Why should you worry about three Kadishians if you are within your own space, your own territory, running your own thing? You won't have to care about Kano, Kaduna, and Katsina and the rest of all those places. They will choose the leaders they want for themselves. They can run their own things themselves. That is not hatred. That is called respect. Right? It is called respect. Stop your hypocrisy. Stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to your children. If your parents lied to you about Nigeria, now that you know better, stop lying to your own children. Stop creating the fake, beautiful Nigeria that politicians are promising you. None of them exist. Even in the dream of your politicians, none exist. So if you're not thinking right now, maybe you should. So you should never feel offended. For any reason, you should not even be arguing. When they talk about Yoruba, man, I prefer Yoruba nation. Oh, what do you prefer? Well, I prefer the Yorubas to be in charge of our own affairs. Let's log it out. Let's work it out among ourselves. Let's develop without us being choked down by the people who hate real development. So to say, the politicians are working in that tandem, and it is not in your interest. It is not in my own interest. Terrorists, armed terrorists. Some of you who are watching me right now, look, you probably will be forced into picking up arms soon as well. That is where Nigeria is going into. The level of the frustration, the disappointment is going to get to a point whereby, yes, the security system has collapsed. They've turned it into business. You are on your own. Now, sooner or later, you are all going to carry weapons to defend yourselves, whether you want it or not. And when you live in that dangerous world, I don't know how you're going to come back from that. I don't know. And guess the politicians, of course, they all have their own private jets. They come here to come and queue for NHS treatment here in the UK as well. Of course, they do with your money. So if you look at me and you're like, what are you saying? I'm telling you that you are not going to be the first person to be shouting one Nigeria, in whatever description that is going on in your head right now. I can promise you this. You see all this you are witnessing in Nigeria today, they told you it's a leadership problem. No. It's more than that. Okay? It's more than you choosing somebody and all that. Nigeria is a messed up place, and it is intentional. Do you understand that? Right? So if you get that, you will realize that Nigeria can only function when everybody mind their own affairs and business. We can deal with Tifnumbu, the Lagos Abobako and the rest of them. If Yoruba land has to choose a leader, indeed choose a leader like elect a prime minister or a president, I can bet it 90% of those who are jumping behind their Kolu and every other rogue in Yoruba land, they would never touch them. Yes, they will never touch them. But see the damages Nigeria has done. Nigeria has destroyed male, female, young, old, educated, illiterate. Nigeria has destroyed many people psychologically. And today, it can't be like say, Shebi Buhari don't destroy Nigeria. So what is wrong if Tifnumbu also destroy Nigeria? May all of us just destroyed everything. That is the state of where they are now. Do you understand that? It is not because anybody loves Nigeria anymore. Trust me. So you will get to that stage, and eventually you will realize that it is cheaper to be on our own than this forceful union, this unity begging. We need to be together. Baba, why are you begging for unity? Unity is not for it's not to be pleaded for. You have to, it is an act. You have to do something. You do something that make people feel like, and I like this guy. Oh, and I love where it is. Oh, I actually appreciate this. You know what I mean? Then they come together and say, oh, we are united. You don't go about and start threatening people with unity. We need to, you're the mentor. So the point I'm making here is this. Whether you want to call it incompetence, whether you want to call it corruption, whether you want to call it a state-sponsored, terrorism, or a deep state within the system, whatever you want to call it a failed state. Everything you want to call it right now, you will be right about what APC, Egbekegbe, what they have done to Nigeria. Someone told me, said, Mayegun, stop worrying yourself. Whether you tell them to stand up for what actually will benefit them, and they said no, or they abuse you, or attack you, Mayegun, stop worrying yourself. If they hold their election, and you see the number of people that vote for APC, Egbekegbe, if you are worrying about the number of mad people in Nigeria before, you may actually have a very, very reliable figure to work with. And somehow I said, what about that of the people destroying people? I said, listen, Mayegun, start with APC. You can work with the rest of the figures afterward. Because as it is, nobody can help them. Sometimes, if the self-destruct mode, if you don't allow it to fully activate, it could be disastrous. And at the end of the day, you probably won't even be able to treat the level or the difference of the injuries, so to say, or the effect of the blast, so to say. So Mayegun, let them self-destruct. You can't help them. Speak from today till 1 million years. They will still choose what will kill them. But I won't say you should stop talking. I'm just saying, do not worry about them. And I agree. I said, we will see to that, whatever they want to call it. Now, I'm going to take another break. This time around, when I come back, I'll start taking phone calls. You can then call in, probably tell me what I don't know about Nigeria and your roguish leaders, if you are one of those rooting for them. Again, I will be back. So I have something I want to add. Sorry, I missed that call, by the way, okay? Yeah, I mean, I'll take few calls, okay? But there's something I want to add, just for the sake of you listening to me. Let me tell you something I know about the people who sort of fight or kill themselves because they want to lead Nigeria, why they are so desperate, and why their desperation somehow make them see themselves as kind of invincible, or the people with the only people with the monopoly of violence, so to say. What they usually do is this. Normally, you can't really engage any one Nigerian, especially if you see them in APC or PDP. Sincerely speaking, you can never have any reasonable conversation with them. Okay? Because you see, in fact, put it this way. There's nothing you say about any of their roguish criminal leaders, right? That you will be wrong. You may exaggerate or something like overstate some things, right? But you will not be totally wrong. Okay? And the only way that they somehow have managed to keep prominence over time, which I have found or figured out, is violence. But the way they push their violent narrative is this: threats. If you go on Mayegun's Diary Political, for example, if you are doing a research on what it is like to undo or treat, some of these, Oceans, what I knew about them is that their stock in trade is threats. They can easily tell you, this thing you are saying, if they burn you well, come to this or so place. Oh yeah, come here and do this or that, because violence is their stalking. There's nothing. They don't see it as anything wrong. They can even kill you in a lawless Nigeria for the political rogues that will eventually make them even poorer and worse off in their lives. But before they carry out any of this, yeah, their trade is fear. Hey, you better be careful. Those people are dangerous. So, hey, you see, they are here. The people supporting that guy, they are here boys. They are very, very dangerous. So, the people supporting that governor, they are Akeo, they are Shao, they are this or that. So, the fear is what the political class and their followers in Nigeria, it is their fuel. And you should know that. That fear or threat of violence, yeah, which they don't see as wrong, can only happen in a lawless Nigeria. So if you see them making those threats, yeah, you should never be dissuaded. Majority of them, never chop them be. Safe for social media. I'm talking about I never shop. Some of them, sincerely, yeah, I don't know about others, they won't even have the audacity to crawl out of their dingy, dirty abodes, to even challenge you if they see you in public. You know why? These are already humbled slaves, obedient fools, sophisticated demorons, willing tools that have already been disempowered. You know what I mean now? Completely marginalized. And just like crickets, if you walk about a path in the middle of the night and you begin to hear the crickets making this loud noise, but the moment you get closer, they go dead quiet, because most of them too, unfortunately, right, they just have to do something, show something that they deserve any penny or support or food given to them by the agent of their oppressors. But be honest, if anyone has any threats, physical violence and all that, yeah, I'll say be safe. And at the same time, if them bring no go be a gentleman, don't go they speak English. If any call you supporter see you anywhere, they yarn dust, don't let it cold. If you size them. If now everything you they hold, yeah, you know what to do. Don't be a gentleman, because these are spineless, these are spineless, low life gutter boys, so to say. Most of them rely more on the patronage of the same people, oppressors, who mortgage their own lives. So don't let anybody use that. Then another thing is this: they have others who are like more senior brothers. They are like your uncles and aunties. One of the threats they give to you whenever you decided to speak out against the rotten system, which many of them are promoters of anyway, yeah, they will tell you to think about your future. They will tell you to think about your tomorrow. They will tell you to watch your mouth and all the other things they say to you. These are threats. And imagine you speaking up against bad governance, bad politicians, bad policies, terrible, governance, and the rest of that. The irresponsibility of those who are supposed to be responsible for everyone and all that. And then your uncle turned up and said, "Are you not thinking about your future? You better watch your mouth on what you say out there. Watch what you post on social media." That Olori Bruku uncle belonged to the generation of those that were conditioned to grow up and condition you to continue to be a slave to that same system. Now, when you give birth to your own children, you are expected to condition them as well psychologically, just same way your own your own uncle conditioned you. If you have such uncle or you have such people, useless old people on social media or off social media, telling you that you should watch your mouth, you should think about your future and all of that, you should just tell them, Olori Buruku niyi sir, I don't need your advice. Okay? That's my future you are talking about is the same one that the people I'm talking about have mortgaged. So what future are you talking about? Say that to them if you're a Yoruba man. If you know how to interpret that into Igbo, Hausa says the same thing to all those useless uncles. They are everywhere. They think because they are older than you, they don't get any sense. They don't get any sense. The sense they have is a slavish senses. Slavish senses that tells you that you have a future in a country that has no future. That's a pure lie. So if anybody is trying to play into your head, telling you that you should watch your future, are you know, do you care for your future at all? You are saying all of these things about these elders. Don't you know that your future? Don't listen to them. If you get time, just tell them, Olori Buruku niyi sir. If you get time, you can add this one. Sir. What future are you talking about? She the one that Buhari and gang, APC, Egbekegbe, the one they have used to borrow money from China. I be the one they have used to borrow money from where? Dubai, I be where? Saudi Arabia. Ofolema Shesa. For you pretending to tell me to be careful of my future because of what I say. They don't care about your future. That's the point. When that uncle tell you to be careful about your future, they don't care about your future. They know you don't have any future. Nigeria has no future for you. If you don't believe me, right? Take 20 years out of your age. Right now. Some of you, if you take 20 years out of your age right now, you are going to turn to teenagers right away. No be so. 20 years ago, is this the future Nigeria promised you? The future of a Fulani terrorist, future of a Boko Haram, future of a poverty capital of the world, future of the second most terrorized people in the world. Is that the future they promised you? Is that the future you saw 20 years ago? So if Olori Buruku on social media is telling you to watch your mouth, they said that to me many times. I didn't listen to them. They are useless. They are as useless as their lives that they lived when they were our own age. How can somebody be at your own? I mean, how can somebody who was your age 30 years ago, and saw what they have done to you, be telling you about one future? What future are they talking about? The leaders of which tomorrow? So I'm just giving you this tip. They use these simple lines, okay, to get into people's heads. All right? Nigeria is built in a way that what is meant to be easy, they intentionally make them hard and tough because the opportunity is limited for a reason. Okay? So there is no future anywhere. None. Not the one that you are not part of. If they are building any future anywhere, you are not planned in that future. So if you see any Olori Buruku Egbo anywhere, don't respect them. You know me, I know they respect her. I know they respect them. They don't like me for that. They said I don't have respect, and I appreciate that. I don't respect wearies, whether old or young. It's important that you don't respect Olori Burukus as well, whether old or young. Don't let anybody play the card of you are a Yoruba man. We don't respect respect elders. Do you know that the foolish people also grow old? Same thing with Olori Buruku. They also grow old. So somebody who is Olori Buruku when he was younger, or he has the traces of Olori Buruku and all of that stuff, Akoshibero Baluje or Bayeje like in their blood. So would you say because they are now older, they've changed? People don't change, And I've done so much reading on that. People don't change, If you see people in their color, don't say because it's now rich or because it's no. That's the real person. Only time will reveal them. Do you understand? So if you see one Olori Buruku Egbo on social media, and I used to respect this, but don't respect Olori Buruku Wireko anywhere. Do you understand? They have a way of planting doubt, planting things that will continue to weaken you from within. Think about your future. Don't listen to that Mayegun. That Mayegun na very, very disrespectful boy. Don't listen to him. He's in the UK. His own future is sorted. She na Nigeria sort that future for me. Now somebody is telling you, don't listen to me because you have a future in a place that your future has been mortgaged. The future of your own children have been mortgaged. That's how it is. Don't listen to that Mayegun. You know, get respect for elders. So the Olori Bruku elders that mortgage your future, using your own future to build one for their own children, and you are there doing all right, sir. Ranka dede, sir. Baba Shanumi, sir. God will Lord me, sir. And the rest of all those things they put in your head. You don't get any future anywhere except the ones that they will eventually give to you if they choose. But you can have a future, not under them. I just thought you should know. They play all those cards all the time. Don't let anybody in your family, on social media, off social media, place of work, don't let, if you see somebody say this one are weary, whether they're old or young, in your mind, when you see them, just know that they are weary and treat them as that. Okay, I just thought I should add that for you to hit. And let me see if my time will still allow me to take. In fact, yeah, I will take calls. However, I would need to go and make myself an extra tea. So don't take it too much, okay? Don't take offense. And if any of what I've said offended you, well, sorry, I couldn't help it, okay? So just manage it that way. If you are one of those uncles misleading people, lying to young people that they should be careful of here and there, some of you will even be like threatening them. You better don't let them curse you. Nobody can curse you, my brother. Are you listening to me? That person that is cursing you, he himself get problem. Do you know that? You better don't let me use this white ear to curse you. There is no white ear cursing anybody. Do you understand me now? All those things were fabuous created to create fear in you. If you offend white ear, that is when they can curse you. You know they offend the white ear who robbed you, stole from you, stole your future. You don't have respect for them. And don't let anybody blackmail you into believing anything otherwise. They know if you curse you. If you curse them, your own cause supposed to work on them. Okay? So that's how it works. So in my own opinion, they have said a lot to me. Personally, you will see what will happen to you. Some of these wearies even came on social media to tell me they gave me 7 days, they gave me 1 week, they gave me this or that. All because I am telling them the wearies you are supporting, the wearies you are defending. If you have an idea of what they have in stock for you, like I told you 8 years ago, before this APC Egbekegbe came in, if you had an idea, just an inkling of what they have for you, you will be worshiping me. You will not be abusing me. But that won't stop me from telling you all the time, because I may not be able to save you. I may end up being able to save your children, because some of you probably have no idea the danger of keeping that one Nigeria. No war, but with a proper sensitization, education, and the rest of that, we will likely make a lot of a difference this time around. So, okay. Yeah, I wanted to take a break, come back to take my calls, and I think some of these my friends are kind of upset that I've just been talking and I've not taken the calls. Okay, we will not take calls tonight again because of the time and what happened, what came up. Okay, but thanks for spending your time with me tonight again. Maybe tomorrow we'll have another session. So I'm going to call it a night. Really sorry, guys. I will see you some other time. So good night.
Buhari is a money prince. làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dódòdó.
Mayegun diary na him be number one.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dódòdó.
Mayegun diary na him be number one.
Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Mayegun diary na him be number one.
Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube.
Mayegun diary na him be number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun diary na him be number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary na him be number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun diary na him be number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary na him be number one.
Mayegun diary politico.
Mayegun diary na him be number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun diary na him be number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Mayegun diary na him be number one.
Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dódòdó.
Mayegun diary na him be number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Prẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ̀rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ̀rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Ha! Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Mayegun ti